ओम श्री हरि श्री परमात्मे नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता। ओम श्री हरि श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता। श्री कृष्ण गुरु प्रभुपाद। Great One, the Supreme Lord, Saga, those who are wise, pray through the life before 1,000 years back. Pray for the life from boyhood to youth and old. Pray the mind is the driving instrument of the body. Pray says the animal killer do not know that the same is going to happen in the next incarnation. Om Shri Vishnu, the God of all God, Dasavatar. Dakshi Krishna Bhagwan Vishwaroop Shri Guruve Namah Shri Mahaprabhupada. ओम श्री हर्षि मद्भगवद गीता महात्म सहित संस्कृत गीता प्रेस गोरखपुर। ओम श्रीमद्भगवद गीता आरती। ओम श्री कृष्ण वंदे जगद्गुरुम। ओम श्रीमद्भगवद गीता गीतोपदेश मध्य क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे। ओम धृतराष्ट्र संवाद संजय। ओम श्री हरि श्री शेष साई लक्ष्मी नारायण गॉड ऑफ ऑल गॉड्स। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ अष्टोदशो अध्याय 18वां चैप्टर नंबर 18। अर्जुन उवाच। ओम चैप्टर नंबर 18 संस्कृत श्लोक। ओम परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 18 संस्कृत श्लोक। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 18 संस्कृत श्लोक। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 18 संस्कृत श्लोक। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 18 संस्कृत श्लोक। Om Srimad Gita Chapter 18 Conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and of the renounced order of life, sannyasa, O killer of the Keshi demon, master of the senses. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desires is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa, and giving up the result of all activity is that the wise call renunciation, tyaga. Some learned man declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as family faulty, yet other sagas maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. O best of the Bharata, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of these three kinds: acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, they must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great soul. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any exer- expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pratha. That is my final opinion. Prescribed duty should never be renounced. If one give up his prescribed duties because of evolution, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. The intelligent renouncers situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but the who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. For one who is not renounced the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, acquire after death, but those who are in renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are five causes of the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of this from me. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many difficult kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the five factors of action. Whatever right or wrong action a man performed by body, mind, or speech is caused by these five factors. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. One who is not motivated by the false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled through, though he kills man in the world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his action. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three factors of motivative action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the three constituents of action. According to the three different modes of material nature, there are three kinds of knowledge: action and performer of action. Now hear of them from me. The knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. That knowledge by which was one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity. You should understand to be in the mode of passion, and that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all without knowledge of the truth, and which is very magar, is said to be in the mode of darkness. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results, is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action performed with the great efforts by one seeking to gratify his desire and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion. That action performed in illusion, in disregard of spiritual injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and egoism, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. The worker who is always engaged in work against the injunction of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who is lazy, always morose, and procrastinating is said to be a worker in the mud of ignorance. O winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in the detail of the different kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. O son of Pratha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. O son of Pratha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. That understanding which considers religion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction. O Partha is in the mud of ignorance. O son of Pratha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus control the activities of the mind, life, and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. But that determination by which one holds fast to protective results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. And the determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, morosenses, and illusion, such unintelligent determination, O son of Pratha, is in the mud of darkness. O best of the Bhartas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoy and by which it sometimes comes to the end of distress. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awaken one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. That happiness which is derived from contact of senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first but poison at the end, is said to be the nature of passion. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning and end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary system, which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. The Lord here summarize the total influence of three modes of material nature all over the universe. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own nature in accordance with the material modes. O chastiser of the enemy, heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the nature qualities of work for the Kshatriya. Fearing cow, protection, and illusion, and business are the nature work of the Vaishya, and for the Sudras there are labor and services to others. By following these qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now please hear from me how this can be done. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reaction. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. One who is self controlled and unattached and who disgrades all material enjoyment can obtain the practice of renunciation, the highest perfect stage of freedom from reactions. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. Being purified by his intelligence and control, the mind with determination, giving up the objects of senses gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred, one who lives in a scheduled place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self realization. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity in that state. He attained pure devotional service unto me. One can understand me as I am as the Supreme Personality of Godhead only by devotional service, and when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection in such devotional service. He fully conscious of me. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. If however you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. If you do not act according to me direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Under elation, you are now declined to act according to my direction, but compelled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. O Saikon of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace and supreme and eternal abode. Thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you. My supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, nor to me, nor to one who is envious of me. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. And I declare that he who studies this scared conversation of ours worship me by his intelligence. And O son of Pratha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind, and are your ignorance and illusion now dispelled? Arjuna said, O dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have gained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and am prepared to act according to your instruction. Sanjaya said, Thus have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard those most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personality to Arjuna. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports to the 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the matter of its conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Do work, work is God, God is blessed. Om Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Om Bhurbhuva Svah Tatsaviturvarenyah Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuva Svah Tatsaviturvarenyah Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. Om Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. Har Har Mahadev.